Ladies and gentlemen, welcome tonight to another edition of NASCAR 6 Total Team Control on the channel. Today we have a couple of races for you on this live stream, and they are both in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, as we will be taking place both races on short tracks. First at the Dodge Raceway, a nice little third-mile short track. This will be the shorter of the two races today, only 250 laps. And then we go 200 laps, 200 miles at the Monster Mile at Dover for race number 2. This will set us up for the final 10 races of the Truck Series season-long points format custom schedule season. And without further ado, let's hop into tonight's race. We'll be starting last with no practice or qualifying in both races today. And we'll see what points leader Ricky Craven will be able to do, as that's who we are driving for and trying to get this championship for on the year. A 31-point lead coming off a 10th place finish in the last race. Green flag is going to be in the air. We're underway. And it'll be Chase Montgomery on the pole for the third straight race in that 18 truck. And he's already looking to lead the first lap, it looks like, as they roll off of turn 4. And that is exactly what he's going to be able to do. 5 cautions at Richmond all in the first 80 laps kind of plagued the 99 of Craven mid-pack most of the race. He was able to lead laps virtue of pit strategy. Actually led the most laps in that race because of pit strategy, but ended up finishing in 10th. A lot of 3-wide racing at the very back right now. Brandon Witt in the middle of it. Chad Chafin as well. Craven looking to get to the bottom. Quicker he can get to the lead, the better. But has to try to get through here with little to no contact at the same time. And his teammate Todd Kluver towards the back half of the field in the early going as well. Got to take advantage of this when the field is bunched together like this. A lot of cars stuck on the outside that started there. Luckily, Craven, despite being on the outside row, was in the last row, so he's able to kind of sit back there for a couple laps and then get to the bottom a lot quicker than a lot of other drivers are having to really deal with here. Dover's not a good track for me on this game, so I'm not looking forward to that race today. Really going to need a solid start to this doubleheader. And this is going to be the last doubleheader, by the way, for the foreseeable future on the channel. Don't have too many more shorter races left on both the Busch and the Truck Series schedules, and obviously the Cup Series. Not going to be doing 2 races in one day there. Wade Selinsky, Matthew Dorter, Bruno, thanks for tuning in. A lot of contact off turn 2 there. A few trucks making contact with each other. Allows for Craven to get to the bottom 3 wide, but not able to actually make any passes. Looking to get around Marvin Sheth, who's still in the top 10 in points. Craven's already up to 23rd, though. Montgomery not too far behind the lap traffic at the tail end of the field either. A lot of bump and runs going on right now. No surprise there. Craven's kept his truck clean through 11 laps. No contact with anybody for him. Little stack up there as looks like Deborah Renshaw got passed on the outside. Michael Turner, welcome into the stream. Let me know if the audio is good in the chat, by the way, if you could. It's saying... I got a notification saying something about the audio bitrate wasn't strong. I never usually get that notification popping up on my stream, but I did just a second ago. The Craven's already up to 19th, though, in 14 laps. It's one of my best tracks on this game. Fantasy track or non-fantasy track. 12.882 that last lap for Craven, his fastest in the early going of the race. And now, oh, Renshaw blowing an engine mid-pack, trying to get to the outside, and does. And that's going to be good for Craven to get by. We'll see if we stay green and if Renshaw is actually able to get to pit road. Moves Craven up to 17th. Renshaw came into this race 11th in points. That's going to drop her back even further, I'd have to imagine. Audio's good? All right, cool. Renshaw was able to get to the pits. It's tough if you're on the bottom lane. Luckily, she didn't have any truck on the outside of her when she tried to move into the outside lane. But already an early engine failure in race 1. 7. Oh, geez. Overdrove the corner there. Big hit into that inside wall. No contact with another truck yet through the first 20 laps, but truck got a bit loose on Craven in the middle of the corner when he tried to pick the throttle up. And actually scraped the guardrail on the inside of the racetrack. Lost a spot as a result. Same truck that just passed him tried to put the bump and run to the 153. Moved him once, and now Craven going to move him. Saw some contact a lot further up ahead as well. Still 3 wide. Now they're side by side. Craven locked the tires up a little bit, getting into turns 1, 3, and 4 rather. All clear, but that might open up the bottom. No, he does get back down to the inside in time to hang on to 15th. Jerry Fasnat, thanks for tuning in. I know, I need to check that out. I don't even have it downloaded yet. I really wanted to play it this off-season. I will definitely get to it eventually. I know I keep saying that, but I will. There's the reason why I haven't set a specific time of when exactly I'm going to, do anything with it, but I do plan on having some stuff with it eventually here. Maybe at the new year. More NHL 23. Yeah, that I can't confirm. I mean, I'll get more views on other, sports games, but that's not what I'm... I mean, yeah, the views are nice, but I'm trying to also chase a NASCAR-oriented audience. I started attracting hockey fans. They're not going to be watching the live commentary stuff when NASCAR season starts, so... It's a waste of time, really. For me. I mean, I can commentate hockey, it's just I don't know, like, all the... You have to know all the players on the team, and there's so many, line changes going on so quick, you gotta be on top of it. I mean, commentating hockey's gotta be the hardest sport to commentate. But even, like, substitutions in football and stuff like that, especially in college, you really have to study that. You have to know every player by their number, by their position. Commentators on TV make it look a lot easier. They have the graphics that pop up, but they don't see those graphics. They're just looking out the like window or whatever that they're commentating the game on, from a bird's eye view at the top of the stadium or wherever they're sitting in the booth. Already 35 laps in as we're still caution-free. Craven trying to get into the top 10 for the first time yet. After no practice or qualifying, started at the rear, and he makes 2 passes that lap to move to 10th. So there we go. And just ran his fastest lap with it at 12.801. If he can ever get clean air, which is probably not going to happen unless he's in the lead on a restart, I think we can run a 12.5 second lap time. I'm having to check up so early, just trying to not make as much contact with these guys. Only made contact with the truck 1 time. Make that twice. A little bit there. Bottom lane closed up. Craven's done a great job keeping his truck on the inside. I would not doubt that this race is going to be less than an hour. That's why we're doing this and Dover tonight. Dover actually the same length as the Busch Series race at Dover, and we will be having fairly soon on that schedule as well. Starting at the back, though, when it's so tough to pass there, that's going to be a very, very difficult challenge just to not wreck the whole race, let alone to get a good finish. Chase Montgomery has led all 41 laps so far and counting in today's race. He's getting through the lap traffic fairly well. Craven's still over 5.5 seconds off the lead, despite the fact he is in 8th. Overran the corner again in turns 3 and 4. Second time he has done that now. Truck almost turns a little too easy, which is not a bad thing because it's not super loose. But it's loose enough to just kind of hang on the bottom. He's not pushing too wide in the middle of the corner or when he's trying to pick the throttle back up. Barely going full throttle around the track. Very briefly you are. We will take our first field pass of the race when we get to the start-finish line this time by. We'll go to the 50 truck of Todd Kluver next as you see him at 28th. Just a couple trucks up ahead of where Ricky Craven is right now. Kluver's truck's just not that quick. 13.3 when his teammates running 13.7s, 13.8s. Or sorry, 12.7s and 12.8s. Pass for position. Kluver nowhere near the free pass spot though. That pass was not for position either. Right behind Bobby Hamilton, who I believe is on the lead lap. We'll go back to Ricky Craven. After those few laps, lap 50. Craven still 6 seconds off the lead in the 7th place position. With contact with the 117 off the exit of turn 4. Keeps it off him in 1 and 2. Makes the pass around the lap truck. Craven underneath his teammate. Should be an easy one-stop race today as well. Haven't mentioned that yet, but I don't see this race being more than one pit stop. The Busch race was 50 laps longer, and it was only one stop. We've seen these trucks go a little bit longer on fuel than the Busch and the Cup Series cars in this game as well. Will also help. Craven right there behind Bobby Hamilton as he gets to the inside of the 04. Trying to battle him for 5th. Craven's got the spot. Contact behind Bill Lester kind of stalled Craven out a little bit. Now he's 3 wide. A couple lap trucks to his outside. Now he clears them. Ron Hornaday just in front of Lester's. Lester was closing in on him, but boy, Craven drove it deep into 3 and 4. Actually got it to stick. Gets to the inside of the 22. Makes a pass for 4th. Bit of a squeeze play there in turns 1 and 2 as well as he was clearing the Checkers truck. And now Hornaday trying to block Craven for position. I think even with Montgomery leading here in the early going, Craven's going to have a good chance to get to him and have a shot to lead the most laps. Kind of similar to Old Spice Speedway in that race. Craven under Hornaday. Body slams him just a little bit as he gets the rub and run for 3rd. Less than 3 seconds off the race lead. Hornaday stuck on the outside now after that contact from Craven. I believe Shikiki Hattori's the 2nd place truck in the 9. Having a great season. He's 4th in points. Pittsburgh Dover. It's going to be borderline one stop. Big dive into the corner. Craven boots the 9 of Hattori, excuse me. Craven to second. A lot of lap trucks making contact in front of him yet as well. Craven less than 2 seconds off the race lead. And he is coming after Chase Montgomery. The quicker he can get to the lead, the more of a chance he's going to have leading the most laps today. Craven almost a second off the lead. Stalled out just a little bit. The contact with another lap truck as he was 3 wide there briefly. Still about a second off the lead yet. Bump and run on the lap truck for Craven to get by. Craven is closing. We will take our second and final field pass in the early going of the race. We'll go back to Todd Kluver for a couple more laps yet. He's made his way up to 26, looking to pass Chad Chafin, who I believe is a lap down in 4th position right in front of Kluver. And never mind. Chafin must have either fell an extra lap down from where Kluver's at, or he's gained that much time as Kluver got a bit loose off turn 4. Ethan just grabbed and pulled him down to the bottom of the track there. He made a couple passes there in those couple laps. Up to 24th. Lap 73. Craven is right behind Chase Montgomery. And looking low for the lead. Lap truck on the outside. Perfect time for Craven to try to use him as a pick. Montgomery leads that lap at the line, but Craven will have the advantage on the bottom into 1 and 2, and he's clear. Off the exit of the corner, we have our first lead change. And Ricky Craven leads for the first time today. 5 bonus points there. So the first 73 laps were led by Chase Montgomery, but now it's Ricky Craven who leads. Matthew Place, thanks for tuning in, and Earl Arnold Jr. also welcome into the stream. Craven got to the lead. It's a little harder to get through this lap traffic. Of course, these guys going to battle the leader a little bit harder than the second place truck. Trying to stay on the lead lap or keep their lap, depending on how many laps down they are. Maybe going to be a little bit more aggressive. Craven's pulled out to a 1-second lead, though, after he finally got around those 3 trucks. I think Craven clearly has the fastest truck in the field. Just a matter of driving a clean race here these final 170 laps. Nice little sprint race here before we get into that second race at Dover tonight. Trying to build that points lead back up. Lost about 18 points in that last race. Looking to gain some of that back. His teammate Todd Kluver going to go a second lap down. Halfway out of fuel at this point in the race, so definitely a one-stopper. These guys could go to a little less than 100 to go if they really wanted to on fuel. Big check up there as Brandon Witt got shuffled to the outside lane. A couple trucks going to rally around him on the bottom. Feel about Jeffrey Earnhardt full-time with Alpha Prime Rate. I did not see that. I haven't been keeping up with enough NASCAR news during the off-season. So, I mean, I apologize for that. I know a lot of you guys have been asking me questions. I like you guys asking me, though. Get my intake on this stuff. I feel like these streams are a good way of being able to, you know, talk about that, especially during the season. Because I'm streaming the race on the weekend, and it's kind of hard to talk about the talk about that during the race. I'm trying to give you the commentary of the race itself. I mean, you would hear that stuff on TV, but that's because they can actually show you the race and talk about it in the background, where I can't actually show you the race, so it's more of a radio-style broadcast. And I have to be on top of the action on the track, so you guys can have the picture painted in your heads if you're not watching the actual race on TV while you're listening to my streams, that you know what's going on. But with these, it's a little different. I can do that. But I don't have really any intake on that, because I didn't know about it till just now. Sorry for that. I mean, I think he deserves a full-time Xfinity ride. I don't know about, you know, what equipment, because he's been in good equipment and hasn't performed to the highest level, but he's had some good runs at times. So I think he should. I think the Xfinity Series is, you know, a good place for Jeffrey Earnhardt. Or even like part-time in the Cup Series with like a backmarker team. You know, that's just kind of, I feel like, his capability, at least right now. He could get better over time, but he has had a lot of seat time already in the top 3 series in NASCAR, but I think the Xfinity Series is a good place for him. Hey, even if you're actually watching the races, though, on TV, on the race weekend, still come in. Always do both. Watch the race with a bunch of other people. Not just me. I mean, yeah, I might be the only one talking, but a lot of people in the chat for those streams. I mean, we had over 1,000 people in the chat at one point in time. I think it was for the Texas playoff race. The cable races, we're getting like upwards of 900 plus people on a consistent basis there through the summer and even into the early fall. But once the last couple races of the year were back on the big NBC network, our numbers went down a little bit. But even though they went down, we were still pulling in 400 to 600 people in this stream. So like, they went down, but they weren't like, they were just down because more people were able to watch it, so they weren't watching my stream. It wasn't their only output to watch the race. But definitely have to tune in for that next year, especially with a lot of Xfinity and truck races not being on big NBC or big Fox. Definitely have to tune in for those as well on Fridays and Saturdays. And Thursday nights on a couple occasions for the trucks. Jeffrey Cook, thanks for tuning in. 100 laps complete here, still caution-free at the Dodge Raceway. We've had one caution-free truck race this season. We'll see if we can get a second. I think Texas was the only caution-free race, if I'm not mistaken. Texas and Charlotte. Or not Texas. I think it was just Charlotte. I know Charlotte went caution-free because that was a 50% race. I don't know if we had a 100% race go caution-free or not. Recently got a PS2, got NASCAR 08, and NASCAR 2005 Chase for the Cup. Yeah, Chase for the Cup is definitely my favorite game of all time. I've never played NASCAR 08, but we'll get to it eventually. Got NASCAR 7 coming up next. It'll be another blast from the past. Haven't played that in a while. It's probably rank it up there as at least my second most played NASCAR game of all time, and at least when it comes to my childhood, therefore, it probably would have been my second favorite. Even though it wasn't much different from this game. I think a lot of it was just because it was on the PSP and I was able to play that literally wherever I went. So if I went to my grandparents' house for the weekend to watch the race, at nights I would be on my PSP playing because I could never bring my console with me, so. That was always a lot of fun. Take it to school. I was one of those kids that would, in middle school, late elementary, I'd be taking it, so when we go to lunch, I'd be on it. Recess in elementary school, I was outside. But, obviously didn't have that, at least at my school, once you got into 6th grade, so. Yeah, lunch. Get done eating for about 10-15 minutes. Do a quick race of NASCAR 7 on my PSP. Go back to class. That was back in the day when I did shorter races. Well before the channel's history. Well before I even would have thought that this could have been a possibility of happening. Nashville, yeah, Nashville was by far the long. I think that stream was like 7 hours. We did not miss a beat during the red flag. Like there was I think Dover was really long too. But I ended the stream. Obviously, we didn't stream all night because the race started on Sunday and then ended on Monday. Like elapsed time, I think that was longer because of the delay. But the actual stream on Sunday wasn't as long as Nashville was. Notorious Dave Campbell, also thanks for tuning in today. Got 15 viewers currently watching. Early going of the stream. Again, this is race 1 of 2. Race at Dover next. That'll be 200 laps. That'll be a longer race than this one. We're flying through this race. We started it less than a half hour ago. We're almost halfway. So these laps are quick and by quick with no cautions. And Craven's just slowly getting away from the rest of the field here as he's out to a 4.8 second lead. Didn't take the lead till lap 73 from Montgomery. So Montgomery's led a lot more laps than Craven so far after Chase qualified on the pole versus Craven didn't qualify at all and started at the tail end of the field. A lot of contact off turn 4 as Craven got back in the gas just a bit too soon there. 03, 04, 06 favor on PS2. Yeah, I remember playing 06, but for whatever reason, I didn't play it as much as 07. And I think the reason why I played 07 that much, obviously I mentioned the PSP, but I also had it for the PS2 also. So I would literally, like, play, you know, a season on my PSP and then a season on my PS2. I don't know. It was the same game, so it was, for whatever reason, it was just more fun for me. I don't know. I was a kid. Can't really explain it too well. You know, kids like things for whatever reason more than they like other things, and they probably have less of an explanation for it than what you would if you were an adult and had kind of a... You wouldn't be able to put it in perspective as much when you were younger. Got some trucks pitting, though, right now as we're just shy of the halfway mark. Risky to short pit at the Dodge Raceway. I saw Lester pit. He's in the top 5 in points. 50 truck of Todd Kluver's on his way in. I just heard some contact back there. No caution, at least to this point, as we're almost halfway. Craven is not going to short pit. He needs to lead as many laps as he can here. And doesn't want to risk going a lap down or two if he were to pit also. Truck coming out of the pits. Really making contact with Terry Cook as he was 3 wide on the outside. Still 3 wide up there. Falls in line into that second lane. A lot of checking up on the outside with trucks trying to pit. One truck got turned. Ron Hornaday was trying to come in as another truck was leaving the pits. No caution. We again stay green as we're halfway. So I'm getting hooked, though. It did not bring out a caution. And Craven's got a 1-lap lead on the field, which means everybody on the lead lap has hit pit road. And now he's got a 2-lap lead on the field. Because of how long the pit road is here, being around the outside of the track rather than the inside. Craven's got the fastest truck in the field here. I don't think he's really got anything to lose. He's just going to stay out as long as he can, unless the truck gets too hard to handle on tire wear. Who knows, maybe he gets lucky, we get a caution, and if we do see a caution, Ricky Craven's going to have a 2-lap lead on the field. Make an easy lock for himself in this race. He had a little over a 6-second lead before the pit stop started. But because this is such a short track and there's so much traffic all the way around this track that the tires, although they mean a lot, they don't mean as much now compared to if it was on a restart. There's some more contact back there. Definitely been hearing quite a bit of contact. Still have some lap trucks that are pitting and leaving pit road. A 3-lap lead now for Craven. I did not think they were going to be 3 laps ahead in the middle of pit stop. So I'm glad I did not short pit, just in case we got a yellow. I mean, obviously we stayed green, so probably wouldn't have mattered, but I did not think we were going to make up 3 laps. I mean, it's not going to be the case. Once we pit, they'll be back on the lead lap. For right now, things are going well for the 99. Just has to make sure he doesn't speed when he comes in. And going to have to make sure he can get to the outside quickly when the time is coming for him to hit pit road, which, honestly, he's probably going to have to pit in the next 25 to 30 laps. So we're not that far away. Considering we can get about 5 laps in a minute here. We're only about 5 minutes away from pit stops for Ricky Craven and his first and only stop of this first race. 115 to go and counting down. I mean, knowing that we've made it through pit stops at least once Craven pits, I think we do have a good chance for this race to go caution-free and have our second caution-free race of the Truck Series season. We'll alternate through the different camera angles for the first time in this race today. Teammate Todd Kluver up there in the 50. He has not had a great season. He was in the top 10 at points very early in the year through the first handful of races. He has obviously fallen back. He's well outside the top 10 coming into this race. And pretty much has been outside the top 20 this entire race itself so far also. For the PS1, 0506 for PS2. What was down in the chat? What is your guys' favorite video game of all time that isn't a NASCAR game? I'd like to know. I mean, I played a lot of sports games growing up, so I'd probably say Madden 06 is probably my second favorite. I mean, still to the, well, oh man, you know what? I don't know. It's a toss-up between that and then SmackDown vs. Raw 2007. That's, oh man, my favorite. I mean, you can kind of consider them both sports games. If you don't, then my favorite non-sports game would be the latter there. The Madden 06 would be my favorite sports game that isn't a NASCAR game. That's a tough, like if I had to pick one or the other, like if I could only play one of those and never touch the other one again the rest of my life, that would be a very tough decision I would have to make. Twisted Metal. Monster Jam Maximum Destruction. That was a good game too. I definitely remember playing that. That was a fun game. I wouldn't put that up there as like one of my favorites, but I saw that Twitter post actually earlier today. Now, I don't go on Twitter much, but I get a lot of notifications from like notable sources in Twitter, so that's how I'm able to keep up with news. Just gotta see it. Go about the rest of my day, I guess. But yeah, I did see Rockingham is repaid. 2024, who knows? I'd be down for them to go back to Rockingham. The only thing is that track is very similar in layout to Nashville. Well, the only difference is Nashville's concrete and Rockingham's asphalt, so I guess there would be a little bit of a difference there. But knowing that Nashville has the older surface, I don't think we're going to get quite as good of racing at Rockingham as what we have at Nashville now. But they had to repave it, though, if they were going to get any sort of big series back there again. Knowing how big that track is, it had to have been pretty expensive for them to repave it. They have to be bringing back at least a lower series of NASCAR again, you'd have to imagine. So Ricky Craven going to have to pit here very soon. He's already led just barely more laps than Chase Montgomery in today's race. And that 3-lap lead is about to evaporate. Craven will pit this time by at lap 158. He's on the outside. We'll let the 107 get underneath him, and Craven will be into the pits this time. Perfect pit road entry as well. Didn't lock the tires up and didn't speed. Got to pit road at 70 miles per hour. 4 tires and fuel for Ricky Craven. No adjustments. Yeah, I mean, the SVR series in general, I don't know if I played every one of those games. I didn't have all of them for, like, my PS2. I know I played a lot of them on my PSP. I think the only ones I had for both was 07 and I think the first one. A little mistake, by the way, on pit road. I couldn't tell what tire changer that was. I think it was the rear tire changer. Having some issues trying to get that left rear tire off, and it was the rear tire changer. Looking at the replay on my laptop. Craven coming up out of the pits, going to stay to the outside and try to find his way to the bottom. It's really the first time he's... Oh, and we have a caution. That was a terrible time for the yellow to come out. Because now they're back on the lead lap. So we had trouble for the first time today. It looked like Bobby Hamilton got turned by Todd Kluver. I don't know if Hamilton overdrove the corner into Kluver or Kluver just turned down early and hooked him into the wall. But we have our first caution with less than 90 laps to go in today's race. If we would have just stayed out another lap or two, which I think we could have, we would be 3 laps ahead of the field. But instead now, it looks like the top 5 or 6 are all that are on the lead lap. But there are other trucks back in this, and the green flag's back in the air with 88 laps to go. And this race is not over yet. And not a great restart for Ricky Craven. There's contact. He almost gets into the tire barrier at the front of pit road. Got shuffled out of line there. And he was headed straight for it and just crowded Hattori trying to miss it. And Hattori's got his first lead of the race now. And the 99's all the way back to 6 before he can get back to the bottom of the racetrack. That was not a good caution and not a good restart for Ricky Craven either. He's got the fastest truck though, so not too worried about it right now. We got a fantasy driver leading. After Hattori was able to lead there for a couple laps. Hornaday to the inside of the 9. Hattori hesitated. Now he's in the middle, 3 wide with the lap truck to his outside. We'll see how that's going to work itself out. Hattori gets into the truck on the top, and Craven forces his way underneath the 9. True Assassin 86X, thanks for tuning in. All-Star Race at the Rocket 2023. No, it's at North Wilkesboro. Not Rocket. Those are not the same places. They're both in the state of North Carolina, but Rockingham's more towards the southern part of the state. It's very close to the border of North Carolina, South Carolina, and North Wilkesboro is actually northern North Carolina. They're probably a couple hours away from each other. 2.5 hours away. I haven't been to Rockingham, but I have been through North Wilkesboro a couple times. I don't know how far off the highway or closer to the shoreline Rockingham is exactly. If they have a cup race there, I'll find out eventually. I'll definitely be down for going. Chase Montgomery back to the lead, and he's able to lead more laps now. Not good for Craven if he wants to get the most laps led. Craven is back into third, though. Craven does not want Montgomery to lead too many more laps. Craven to the inside of Hornaday and may get underneath the 18 as well. Not quite that time. Montgomery holds on for another lap. Yes, the Tiger Woods PGA games are also really good. Yeah, I did like... oh, who remembers Hot Shots Golf? I remember playing that when I was younger, too. It was a goofy game. Nice shot! I don't know why I said it with an accent. They didn't have an accent when they did it. Hot Shots Golf. Craven down low. Way down low. Bobby Hamilton, after suffering damage, about to go a lap down. He's going to block the 18, though. He crossed him over after Montgomery initially got around him, and that's going to free up the bottom now for the 99 of Ricky Craven to get back to the lead for the second different time today. So Craven back in the lead, and he's got a lot of lap traffic coming up in front of him. 70 to go. Gonna try to set sail again. We'll see if we stay green to the end. We went over 160 laps before our first caution of the race came out. Cycled all the way through pit stops too. Nobody pitted under that caution. Everybody's gonna be good on fuel to the end. Yes, that's another good one. MX versus ATV. Yeah, I did play a lot of those games. You guys have been mentioning in the chat. Those were some good ones. Oh, we got to stack up. One truck gets pushed wide. Craven did a good job keeping it off the 92 of Harvick. And we got another. Man, they're about wrecking each other a couple times now. Craven got into Harvick that time and it slowed him down even more. Guys are running over each other. Got one truck pitting. Somebody just blew an engine but was able to get off the track. So we stay green. A few trucks staying to the outside. It's going to help Craven get to the bottom. He's opened that lead up to almost 1 second over Chase Montgomery, who is still in second place. Not going to be a huge points day for Craven versus the 18, but it is a tight battle for the most laps led as of right now, though if Craven leads to the end, he's easily going to clinch the most laps led, but as of where we stand right now, it is very close. Which, if we get another restart, Montgomery gets to the lead again, could be a chance. There was a, I think it was called Burnout. I remember having that game. I remember, like, if you crashed in that game, your driver would literally, like, fly out the windshield of the out of the car. It was not a game that was rated E for everybody. I'll tell you that much. It was kind of gory. I mean, you basically killed yourself. I mean, that's essentially what happened. Like, if you got in a wreck, you basically just, your driver would die, and he would show, he'd show you die. Like, you get projected through the windshield of your car like you would if you were in, like, an actual automobile accident at a high-rated speed. That's essentially what would happen. But it was kind of sick and twisted, though, because they would have these mini-game modes in there where you would have, like you would literally have, like, a mini-game mode where you could, like, launch your driver out of your car as, like, it was weird. Like, you could play against friends. Somebody has to know what I'm talking about. But you could play, like, for instance, 2-player. I had a friend over at my house, let's say we were playing that game, and we would literally, like, it would line you up almost like a long jump kind of thing in track. But only instead of long jump, you would literally ram your car into this pole as fast as you could, trying to launch your driver out of the car. and just like launch him however many 100 feet you could. It was it was pretty sick. I'm surprised I had that as a kid. I'm surprised my parents probably had no clue I was playing that game, or had any idea. They're like, "Oh, it's a racing game. He'll like it." And then like I, you know, played it. Little did I know I was. Little did they know I was like virtually killing myself behind the wheel. Flat Out? Was it Flat Out? Okay, not Burnout. It might have been Flat Out. It was something out. You might know what I'm talking about. That, yeah, that was. It might not have been Burnout. I might have got him confused. I know Burnout was a series. I don't know if this game was a series. It might have been one and done. The graphics in the game for the time were really good, but at the same time, when you have good graphics, when you know you have something like that happening, it's that can get gory quick. Who needs driver ed safety videos when you have a video game like Flat Out where you can just, you know, demonstrate that stuff right then and there virtually? No need to look at any dead bodies. .3-second lead. Oh, we got a major stack up going on into turns 3 and 4, and that's, I'm not sure what it happened from. We've seen a lot of stack up since this restart, really since that caution came out. You can definitely tell there's been a higher intensity throughout the field. And there's going to be some open traffic here for Craven shortly once he can get through this pack of trucks. Flat Out was a series. Was that the game, though? Like, are we correct with that? That was the name of that game? I'll take your word for it. Seem like you know what you're talking about. To a certain extent, I know what I'm talking about. I got the names misconstrued. I guarantee you, if I played that game on here, knowing my luck with like getting copyrighted and stuff, I'd probably get demonetized. That'd be my luck. Yeah, I don't know which one I had. I remember having a game. Maybe that's the off-season NASCAR content we need on the channel. Sizzy, welcome into the stream. A little less than 40 laps to go in race 1 of our doubleheader today. A 3-second lead for Ricky Craven. Got about 6 trucks on the lead lap, at least as of that last restart. We've had just 1 caution today. It took place just after lap 160. Flat Out 1 and 2, you can do that. Oh, what, they took that out of the game after? Probably so that way they could like rate it lower. It might have been rated M for mature. I would not doubt that that was the case. I was probably playing that game when I was like 6. That might be a game we need to play during the off-season one of these years. I might get demonetized for it, but it'd be fun just to do once. That's one of those games, though, like, you play it a couple times, and then you kind of, like, you would get bored of it. Have a laugh here and there, but it's hard to take those kinds of games seriously. Like, there's only so much you can do. Yeah, I've never played Need for Speed. I don't believe I have. I mean, maybe I have, but I know I've never owned one. I've never owned Gran Turismo either. It was rated T for teen? No way. I mean, that kind of stuff now, there'd be no way that would be... I think that was just the time we were in. I mean, a lot of the wrestling games are rated T for teens, too. Even though they had a lot of women in lingerie and a lot of blood. A lot of blood. But those were... I mean, I think those are just the times. You know, you could hit somebody upside the head with a chair. They could bleed, you know, wide open. And you could, you know, match them in a match against, you know, women. Like, like you could do that in those games, but it was rated T for teen. There's some messed up stuff you could get away with in games back then, and they wouldn't get. What's Call of Duty and all the first-person shooter games rated? Is that rated M for mature? I would have to imagine. I mean, is that the difference? Is that you're not actually killing somebody? Is that like you're trying to kill them in those games, but you can't actually kill them? Is that the only difference of why it's not rated M for mature? That's got to be the only reason. But now in Flat Out, though, your guy literally died. There's no way they survived those wrecks. Like, the man's torso, like, the man's abs is now his back. Like, that... You can't tell me that guy's still alive. His arm will be, like, folded the wrong way. Like, there's no way. There's no way that game should have been rated T for teen. Yeah, but I mean, so that's what we've come to. Like, if they're not dead, it's not rated M for mature. If you're not killing anybody, you can, you know, beat them to near death, but you just can't. You can't actually kill them. So that's like the only difference. It's just kind of mind-boggling, though, like that there really isn't that much of a difference. I mean, kids still play those games anyway, so. I don't think it's going to stop them. Parents buy it for them for Christmas. They're not going to be, you go into a GameStop, they're not going to be asking the parents, well, is your son or daughter 18 years old? Like, no, they're not going to do that. Like, and if there is that guy out there, somebody needs to film him, because I wouldn't believe it until I see it, and that would be hilarious content somebody needs to have on the internet. .8-second lead for Ricky Craven. 15 laps to go at the line. Bobby Hamilton in danger of losing another lap. He was in the top 5 earlier, but he definitely has lacked a lot of speed after getting involved in that accident, after getting turned by Todd Kluver. About a half a track lead, maybe a little more than that for Craven. A lot of contact with the 2 trucks in front of him. Craven checks up a bit to keep it off the 04. In the middle of the corner. No high incentive to really pass these guys. I don't think Montgomery's going to have any sort of a shot of catching up to Craven here. Now without a caution. Oh, contact. Almost turned the truck. And now the 3 wide back there. Hopefully we stay green. We have so far 11 to go. No, I will not be streaming on Christmas. Christmas Eve, potentially. But it'd have to probably be a little bit of a later stream. Like, it would definitely only be a Busch or a truck race. And it would start at probably like 8 o'clock if I did. I'll have the streaming schedule out next week, so I'll know by then. Eight laps to go for Ricky Craven. This will be the 6th win for him this season. He had an 8.3 average finish coming into the day. It dropped just 1 tick. It was an 8.2, but then he finished 10th at Richmond, a track that going in, thought I could have won and really dominated. I did lead the most laps, but just not because of speed. We just didn't have the speed I thought we would have. Today we had the speed, at least in this first race, but Dover's going to be a whole different animal. That's definitely going to be the toughest race of the night. And even with one caution, I think we're going to get this race done in less than an hour. Definitely a quick race. Obviously, that one caution was only 3 caution laps. 4 to go. Harvick moving the 30 truck of Chad Chafin up the hill a little bit. It might be 3 wide into 3 and 4. One truck just by both of them down to the bottom and took it 3 wide. Looked like the 86. One of the fantasy drivers. Chafin's still stuck on the outside. Harvick has cleared him off turn 2. Raven looking to make some passes down to the bottom around these lappers. 7.5 second lead, 2 to go. Less than a mile of racing left for the 99 of Ricky Craven. Putting Harvick another lap down inside of the 86 truck, and that's probably going to be the last lap truck he'll catch today. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go. No cautions on the final lap. We'll end this race with just 1 caution. And Ricky Craven going to try to go for the sweep in tonight's doubleheader. 11 races to go in the season, and he'll grow the points lead out at the Dodge Raceway. 6th win of the year for Craven. Why can't I do a burnout? It wasn't letting me do a burnout on the straightaway. I mean, I guess I'll do it in the corner. I wanted to do it on the straightaway. It's a small enough venue, they can all see it. Alright. So should be a max points day for Ricky Craven. Oh yeah, easily. 159 laps led for the 99 truck after starting last. Montgomery led quite a few though from the pole, leading 86. Hornaday started second, finished second, but he did not lead a lap. Shigeki Hattori led 2 laps on that one restart, finished 4th. Parker rounds out the top 5. He was a fantasy driver that led 3 laps today, the highest finishing of which as well. Only 3 trucks finished on the lead lap. Didn't realize I lapped Hattori there late. John Hamilton ends up 6th. Bobby Hamilton 2 laps down at 7th. Despite wrecking, still good finish. Thomas finishes 8th. Grant 9th. And Eubanks rounds out the top 10. Both Grant and Eubanks 3 laps down in the top 10 as well. Our teammate Todd Kluver finishes 21st. 5 laps down. And the only DNFs in this first race were Deborah Renshaw. Bill Lester blew an engine as well. And that was it. So we had 2 DNFs. 7.3 seconds margin of victory. 57 minutes, 15 seconds on today's race 7 lead changes. And again, the 1 caution for 3 caution laps. 98.24 miles per hour was the average race speed. I will have a trivia question in race 2 tonight as well. Go under the grid. Yeah, let's just give everybody virtual carbon monoxide poisoning underneath the... it probably would be carbon monoxide. I mean, they do burnouts. I mean, it's not really indoor. Like, there's still open air there. I usually do that, but I was trying to change it up a little bit. We win there a lot. NBNA Race Points 200 at Dover. Next race. And I think we race the Truck Series tomorrow night at Darlington also. I'll update the point standings at the top of the screen before we get into race number 2. It's the 8 top 5 and the 11 top 10 of the season as well for Ricky Craven. And again, this is after 14 completed races. Finish first. How many laps led did, what was it, 159? Yeah, 159. I got to keep track of that throughout the season. So that's going to boost the total up to 689 laps led on the year. And let me get the average finish updated. 7.8 average finish. So we went down a whole half there. From 8.3 to a 7.8 average finish after this win today. I mean, we're putting up video game numbers in the Busch Series, but we are in the Truck Series too. The crazy thing, though, with the Busch Series, I have like a 5-race lead in the standings with those insane numbers, but in the Truck Series, I'm not even up a full race yet. Well, look at the point standings. I'm only up 51 on Montgomery. And that's with consistency. I mean, a 7.8 average finish, and we're only 51 points ahead of Chase Montgomery because he finished second again today. I mean, literally, we have dominated 2 of the last 3 races, and in both of those races, Montgomery finished second and led a bunch of laps as well. At Old Spice Speedway, and then today at Dodge Raceway. That's insane. Alright. I will, see here. 6 wins for Ricky Craven. Then we'll update the top 10 in points. Bobby Hamilton only 108 back. That wreck definitely costed him, but still in it. We got to be careful at Dover, though. That's not a race that is going to be easy just to finish. Definitely one of my worst tracks on this game. It's just hard not to wreck there. You hit the apron, you clip it just a little bit, you spin out. So 200 laps and then starting last on top of it. We just got to think big picture. We cannot wreck. Cannot wreck. Damage the truck. Man, Lester's DNF hurt him. He was in the top 5. Now he's 6th in points, 319 back. I wonder how far Deborah Renshaw fell back, because she was 11th. Take a scroll down and look at that real quick. Renshaw lost 3 spots in points. She's back to 14th. And Todd Kluver's 16th in points. But he has not had a good handful of races either. I can't even remember the last time he finished in the top 10. It feels like it's been a while. Where's Kevin Harvick in points? Oh my gosh. Kevin Harvick's 25th. He's ran every race this year too. Harvick, not the same driver in the trucks as he is in the Cup, I guess. Alright. Don't have to change the settings at all. Both 100% races tonight. Hey, maybe you'll get that PS5, man. I definitely have to get one before the next NASCAR game comes out next year. Oh man, I don't even know what to do here. We need grip. No wedge. That might be a little loose. We'll see. I wonder if Chase Montgomery's going to start on the pole for the 4th straight race. That'd be insane. Yeah, Harvick's not winning the title. Well, Craven is backing off. He just spun the tires off the restart. He was going to back off anyway. Green flag in the air. Ron Hornaday going to be on the pole. And lead the field to the green at Dover for our 2nd race of the night. And this is going to be where the championship is really going to make or break for a lot of the drivers in the top of the point standings. We've got contact off turn 4 at the back of the pack already on lap 1 off turn 4. And now they're 3 wide in the middle of turns 1 and 2 as well. Craven closing in. More contact. Oh, they're nearly wrecking on the backstretch, and Craven's got a bunch of spots heading into 3. Just passed 8 trucks that lap on the back straightaway after that stack up. We stay green. That works. I'm just trying to feel the truck out right now. See all the smoke laid down from that lap before. Luckily, nobody wrecked. I'm just trying to stay away from that apron until I feel more comfortable knowing exactly what I can do with the truck. That contact happened, I believe, where they were about 3 wide. Hornaday has led the first 3, make that 4 laps off the exit of turn 4 this time. As he led back to the start-finish line again. Craven overdrove turn 1 just a little bit. I'm scared to pass anybody. I was lucky I was able to pass as many trucks as I did, to be completely honest. I know how treacherous this track is from our past history racing here. And I'm not done racing here in this game either. We still have the Busch race here. But at least that's more of a comfortable points lead. This is not. Only 51 points ahead. Good news is Montgomery is not leading, at least as of right now. That'll help. Craven going to the bottom. Underneath the 119. Yeah, I was... Please don't wreck. Alright, no caution. We stay green. Craven just way too tight when he runs the bottom when he's behind another truck, and that's what happened there, and he ended up making contact with the 119 on the outside. We do stay green, though. No caution there. Yeah, I'm scared. I'm scared to pass anybody. Because if I cause an accident, I'm going to the back as well, so really need to stay green. If we get a yellow, hopefully it's behind us, or if it is in front of us, we miss it. But at some point, we're going to have to pass, guys. You can't just sit 27th. Not a long race. Longer than the last race, but it's not long by any means. Wouldn't doubt this race is going to be done in less than an hour and a half. This little slide job into 3 and 4. Pass complete, though, that time before Craven moved up the track. Might have to pass in 3 and 4 instead of 1 and 2. Although he makes a pass in 1 and 2 as well on the 164. He's up to 25th. It is sketchy, though. I'm lucky. These guys are actually giving me a little bit of room. They usually feel like they crowd me more and I make more mistakes. And they still might. They still might be early enough in the race that they're not doing that. Brandon Witt really sliding the rear of his tires. Middle of the corner. Side by side with the 117. He got the wall off turn 2. That's going to allow Craven to clear him with a clean pass. Craven was not the one that made the mistake that time. So truck on his outside, and now he gets to the bottom underneath Brandon Witt off turn 4. Fastest lap of the race in the early going for Craven there. There's a lot of trucks around him. He's just praying everybody just holds their lane in front of him because there would be absolutely nowhere to go. We'd have a big pileup. We've seen Dover and big crashes here in real life in the past. Craven to the bottom, 3 wide off turn 4. That was a gutsy move by the 99. He's going forward into turn 1, and he clears them all, and he's inside the top 20 in just 13 laps. Credit that stack up on lap 2. We got a truck blowing up. 137 back to the inside of the 99. Craven having to hold the outside to let that truck go off the exit of turn 4. He's back to 20th again. I think that might have been Bobby Hamilton that blew an engine. Wrecked in the first race, and now an engine failure here. If that was Bobby Hamilton, and that's a tough break because he definitely still had a good shot at the championship coming in, but with only 10 races to go, he's going to be over 200 out now. It might not have been him, but I think it was Bobby Hamilton. I'm more certain that it was than it wasn't. Craven very close to that apron on the dive as he gets back by the 137. Hey, easier said than done. You try not touching the apron in a full race. I don't care what game it is. it's almost impossible. We're trying to do the impossible today. Craven slid up. A little bit of contact with the 107. Not enough that knocked him into the wall, luckily, so there was no wreck there. Brandon Witt all over the back of the 99, going into 3 and 4. Craven not phased. Hangs onto the truck, hangs onto the bottom. Looking for another spot into turns 1 and 2 as well. The truck's handling very well. I can tell it's going to be loose on the long run. I can just kind of tell it's going to do that. So it's crucial to get around these guys now, because as we start to lose grip, I'm already not that confident passing these guys. I'm going to feel less and less confident. You never want to hurt a driver's confidence. Inside the top 50. If you would have told me I was going to go from last to 15th in 18 laps, I would have said you're joking. Witt so fast behind Craven. Hornaday's just pulling away at the front of the field right now. Little slide job into the corner. I like that move when we can clear. I'm just scared one of these times I'm not going to be able to clear. 110 almost got the crossover back to the bottom into 3 and 4, but Craven able to block on the backstretch, but now the bottom lane's open again. Side by side, Craven holds on to the outside pretty well there. He's going to let the 110 go and just drop in line behind him, keep the 38, so he, in his rear view, Todd Kluver to the inside of Witt now, who overdrove turns 1 and 2. Kluver making a pass for 16th. I think Chase Montgomery's in second up ahead as well. Better than leading, though. He is on it. We might have 2 drivers at the end of the season with average finishes like below a 9. Only one of them is going to win the championship. Scrape into the wall off turn 2. Craven went wide because he saw the 50 closing in behind him, and you just wanted to make sure he was going to give him extra room so there wasn't any contact on that left rear corner panel. Craven blocking all the way into the corner that time. Might have to let Kluver go here one of these times. Kluver is really putting a lot of pressure on Ricky Craven to perform. He's kind of stuck on the outside. That's why he lost as many positions as he did, but he definitely has a faster truck than what he had at Dodge Raceway, where he finished outside the top 20. We had 2 engine failures in our first race of the night. 1 already, though, and barely going to this race. Yeah, Craven got sandwiched that time. Oh, and he turned down into another truck in the middle of the corner. That's going to allow the 106 get back by. Still got a truck on the bottom. 3 wide. That cost Craven a lot of time. Now he's back to 21st as he drops back 7 spots in 1 lap. Got to run on the 107, though, into 1 and 2. Couldn't get down in front of the 99, so that'll move Craven back in the top 20 again. That was tough. Craven got crowded. He couldn't hold it and somehow didn't crash, because once he made contact with that truck on his outside, he couldn't get off of him. Then ended up making contact with the truck down below, trying to get underneath both of them, and ran out of room. Craven got his nose taken off of the block there by the 86 now. Good job by Craven not wrecking. Only 1 more super speedway race left on this truck schedule. It is the season finale at Daytona. I have not won a truck race at Daytona. So definitely don't want to put ourselves in a must-win situation. I think I'm 0 for 7 in the truck series at Daytona. Not as many attempts as in the Cup Series because the Truck Series wasn't available on NASCAR Thunder 04. So we missed out on a handful of races there. Back to 17th, 6.2 seconds off the race lead. We'll alternate through the different camera angles for the first time today. 22.02, sorry, 002 that last lap. Pretty fast there by Ricky Craven. Brandon Witt looking like he's got a truck that could potentially compete for the win. He has not had a good season. He was actually one of the drivers that had a shot at the championship in our first season, going into the final race, but this year he's outside the top 10 in points. Has not won a race this year yet. Maybe today could be the day and he could become that 9th different winner of the Truck Series season here on NASCAR 06. Also remember that this could potentially be a fuel mileage race today. Renshaw going wide, now trying to throw a block. 21.969 that last lap for Ricky Craven. So he did get into the 21.9s. Renshaw still stuck on the outside ever since that 110 truck got underneath. Craven trying to get to the bottom into 3 now as he follows the 30. Chad Chafin. And it's going to work out. Now Craven underneath the 30 truck. Gets by Chafin for 15th. So Craven back in the top 15 now. And now Brandon Witt loses the bottom. Todd Kluver's still moving forward. Having himself a pretty good run so far. Craven down to block. Up into the wall goes the 30 as he overdrove the corner going into turn 1. Tough break there for Chafin. Truck to beat today is definitely going to be the 6 of Rotten Hornaday. Without a doubt. Brandon Witt going to try to get back by Todd Kluver. Side by side into 3. Can Craven get to the inside of his teammate? He will. Kluver stuck up high just a little bit longer. Kluver cleared. 21.9. Flat that last lap. Now Craven to the inside of the 38 of Brandon Witt. Makes a pass for 13th. Clear. Kluver follows to the inside into 3. Up the track goes the 99 though. And now the 50 may get to the inside of his teammate off turn 4. Still going to be up high into turns 1 and 2. Can't grip up well. He's in the wall. Couldn't hold the high side into the corner. Oh, 110 got into the wall up there off turn 2 as well. That was really the first mistake that the 99 made in his drive up through the field, but he's kind of boxed in. Couldn't really let out of the gas and let Kluver go because the 38 was right there behind him. And I don't know if he was clear to the bottom or not. Still don't know even after the fact. He is able to get by Kluver, though, that time through 3 and 4. 40 laps complete. Just get our second alternation through the camera angles done and out of the way here in the early going. NASCAR Cup Series 2311 Racing, thanks for tuning in. Don't think these trucks at Dover have grip. Some other trucks no grip. You're saying some of the trucks have grip and some don't? Yeah, I'm sure the faster guys at the very front of the field are definitely ones that have grip. I really just can't tell exactly how fast of a truck we have. I think we might have a top 10 truck. I don't think we have a race-winning truck, though. It's tough to tell because we're not actually up there, but it's good, but it's not great. It could definitely be a little bit better from a speed side of things, but I'm just glad that the car, or the truck, I guess in this case, handles well enough that we're able to make some moves. It's not terrible. Really hoping this could be just a one-stop race today. You have to really try to take this opening fuel run as far as possible. Craven to the inside of the 110. Into turns 1 and 2. Pass made. Again for 15th. Craven's kind of fluctuated between 14th and 17th for a majority of this race after about 18 laps when he got up to 14th the first time. Hasn't really been able to break free of Brandon Witt, Todd Kluver, Deborah Renshaw, and even the 110, but 110 starting to slip back over the course of this long run compared to those other trucks I just talked about. .50 laps in. Still caution free. Only had that one yellow in the first race. I'd imagine we'd probably have more than one in this race, but so far so good. A couple scares in those first couple laps, but pretty good after the fact. Just a lot of clean air for Hornaday too. About as close to the apron as Craven has gotten in 1 and 2 that time. Still pacing fairly well on fuel right now. Take our first field pass. We'll go to the 50 truck next. He got a little loose. The 99 of Craven right behind him. And he was loose all the way through the corner, really. How much time he lost. Brandon Witt gonna take it 3 wide off turn 4. We got contact. Oh, Renshaw about got turned, and here comes Kluver to get those spots. Gutsy move by Brandon Witt on the bottom. Take it 3 wide, and we almost had a wreck. Fortunately, Craven had to lift quite a bit there. He couldn't get through like Kluver did. Kluver to 12th. Craven still back in 15th. Luckily, no damage on the 99 from that, though. Renshaw got straightened out by the wall, middle of the front stretch there. But again, no caution. Second time we've seen 3 wide at Dover today. And both times we had a couple trucks making contact and another one into the wall, but not there. No, these are 100% races today. Thanks for watching also, Ethan. We will go back to Ricky Craven at the start-finish line as he is battling some trucks for position back there. He did just get by one of those trucks, which was Brandon Witt. Sorry, not... Was it Witt? No, it wasn't Witt. Witt was the one in front of qualifying. Whoever it was that Renshaw made contact with. That's who we got around. Renshaw got loose. Off turn 4. Got intimidated by the 99 of Craven closing in from behind. And Craven will pass for 13th. Halfway out of fuel at this point in the race, and now Renshaw's in the wall off turn 2. I think a lot of that was the lack of grip she had getting into the corner, or I should say getting off of 4. Just completely messed her rhythm up, and now she lost another spot to the next truck that was behind her. Craven 8 seconds off the lead now. Hoover still trying to get by the 38 of Brandon Witt. We'll just take our second and final field pass already in the race. Just like that first race, just going to get it done and over with already so we can just drive as Craven the rest of the way. Try to get as good of a finish as possible. We're still in 12th, has not been able to get by Witt. Got a little tight there in the middle of 3 and 4. And again in 1 and 2 also. Just losing ground to him. Over close to the apron, down on the bottom in 1 and 2 as well. Don't want him to spin either. He's had a good day. Now the run, but we'll go back to Ricky Craven. I think Kluivert just ran his fastest lap of the race that last time as well. 8.3 seconds off the lead for Ricky Craven. It is a one-stop race today at Dover, at least for the 99 team. We know he can go 100 laps. Try to go a couple laps beyond that if he can, just to make sure. Truck's still handling fairly well on the long run right now. Just hoping he doesn't get aero loose. That's the big thing. That is if he has a truck behind him later in this run. I think we just got to gut out a good finish today. And honestly, knowing that this is not a good track for me, top 10, that'll please me. Yeah, Jeff Burton's in this game, just not in the truck series. I don't think he's in the Busch series either. I think he was in the Busch series in our NASCAR 05 game, but in this game he's only in the Cup side. I think NASCAR 07 he's also in the Busch. I don't know why he's not in the Busch series in this one. Brandon Miller in the 21 instead. At RCR. Terry Cook being rained down by Brandon Witt, Todd Kluivert. Yeah, I don't even know if we have top 10 speed, to be completely honest. I mean, we've been stuck at 13th for a long time. Again, we've been 13th to 17th ever since lap 18. That was 50 laps ago almost already. We've just been stuck here. We just haven't been able to go forward at all. And definitely going to need a caution at some point to try to bunch the field back up. It's going to get sketchy if or when it does happen, but it's going to be the best shot of getting a better finish for Craven. And a potential shot at the win. Because right now, I mean, again, it is Ron Hornaday's race to lose. He has led the first 68 laps of this race. And he is far and away ahead of second. At least according to the track map on the upper right-hand corner of the screen. We don't know exactly his interval time between P1 and P2, but he's got a pretty decent-sized gap. Toyota trucks almost look like Ford Mustang. Talk about like the early years. of Toyota in the truck series. I see what you're talking about. They were kind of car-ish looking. They didn't really look like trucks like they do now. I mean, it looked like a truck because of like the tailgate and everything, and the way it was on top, but the front of the truck didn't look like a truck. The front of it definitely looked like a sports car. Not in a mean way, but in kind of like a weird way. Brandon Witt still can't get by Terry Cook, and Cook's being held up by the 178 truck. Definitely have the top 10 within sight right now for Ricky Craven. Ran his teammate back down again. He's passed him a couple times already, but Kluver got back around Craven after that contact we saw between Renshaw and the truck on her outside when they were 3 wide. Kluver to the inside of Brandon Witt off the exit of turn 4. Craven looking low. Can he follow Kluver by the 38 truck into 3 and 4? But crowded Craven on entry, but Craven made a great corner. Got around it. Clean pass for 12th. Much wider entry, but then gets tight in the middle of the corner. Might get... Oh, man. Kluver almost came down into the 99. I don't think he realized he was there. And he is crowding his teammate into the corner. Craven clips the apron. He was very easy on the bottom, knowing that that was a likelihood that he was going to clip the apron, and kind of had to let the 50 go to keep from wrecking. Close call there. That could have been a quick spin for Ricky. His teammate not giving him a lot of room. Oh, contact between the teammates now, and Kluver got up into the wall. Craven's drifting wide. He clips the wall. And Witt gets by the 50, and now he's right behind the 99 again. Craven to a race-high 11th place position. Not the way he wanted to get by his teammate, but that was the second time he got crowded into turn 1, the second straight lap by his teammate. And that time they made contact. Man, into the wall. It almost feels like the truck's tightening up over the long run, not loosening up. I would have thought it's going to get looser, but it feels like it's just getting tighter. Harder to keep the truck pinned to the bottom. Getting a lot harder to try to time when exactly to get back into the gas fully. Terry Cook trying to block. Craven got to give him that. Maybe a little too far off of it into turns 1 and 2, because now Kluver's closed back in after he quickly got back around the 38 after getting into the wall a handful of laps ago. And we are still caution-free. And the 10 truck of Terry Cook blocking for 10th right now on Ricky Craven. Craven underneath him off turn 2. Cook not going to give Craven a lot of room, I'd have to imagine, into turns 3 and 4. Craven, can he make the pass? So close to that apron down on the bottom of the track as he gets crowded, but he is going to be clear into turn 1. Oh, he overdrove the corner, and he's in the wall, and now he's going to lose a couple spots. Man, Terry Cook not giving up on this battle right now as he wants to stay in the top 10 until we get to green flag pit stops. Now it's Kluver's chance to try to get around him. He'll get underneath him. Craven going to follow his teammate off the exit of turn 2. That's one way to get by Terry Cook. Just follow the teammate. Right in front of you, Todd Kluver. Kluver goes a bit wide. Craven to the inside, Kluver into 1 and 2. The last couple times, Kluver really crowded the 99, but that time gave him a lot more room. And again, Craven back inside the top 10. Good battle going on between these three. We'll see. I mean, it'll definitely take Burton a long time to get the hang of it. I think he was definitely rushed to Cup way too soon. Hopefully that doesn't hurt him in the long run. Kind of reminds me of Joey Logano just getting into the Cup Series way too early. Logano struggled his first 3-4 years. Truck got a little loose going into 3 that time. 86 laps on these tires and counting, though, on a concrete surface like Dover. Not going to be fun for these drivers trying to hang on. Haven't seen anybody pit yet. Everybody trying to make it around halfway to ensure that they will make it on just one stop. Yeah, Byron, another one that I think went to Cup too early, too. He's starting to come into his own for the last year and a half or so, 2 years, but definitely another one. Oh, we've got a caution at lap 88. Right at the edge of the pit window, the caution flag will fly as we have trouble in turn 2. The 139 went around. It just gets popped by Kevin Harvick and Chad Chafin. Harvick took a huge hit into that right rear corner panel of the 139. So caution is out right at the edge of the pit window here. A couple trucks involved. About a 3-truck wreck in turn 2. We'll see if the field pits. If they stay out, Craven will stay out too. Yep, Craven going to stay out. I don't think we can make it on field to the end. So I didn't want to lose all that track position. Nobody pits. So no field strategy here. And now the field's bunched back together. Green flag back in the air. Craven restarts in 10th. And quickly dives to the bottom as he's trying to get underneath the 178 into turn 1, but it's not going to happen. We've got the lap trucks on the inside of the leaders further up ahead. There are only a handful of trucks a lap down, so Craven didn't have anybody underneath him. 10 rows deep. We'll see if we get any debris cautions from that wreck. Of course, with the field bunched back together, we'll see if we can stay green. But that is a caution Craven needed to get back into this. Trying to get to the inside of the 178. Tight squeeze getting into turns 3 and 4. 3 wide goes Craven on the bottom, and there's a truck in the wall. I think the 119 got into the wall there. Bold move by Craven to make that pass for 9th, but he made it happen. Slipped up the track. Oh, big block. Almost wrecked the field off of turn 2. Now we've got a couple trucks pitting. Wow. Hanging on for dear life. These guys being aggressive as well. Mark DeMars, welcome into the stream. Craven just all, oh man, more contact. John Hamilton, Ron Hornaday get together. The 137 just bounced off the wall behind him. Hattori gets loose getting into 1. Craven to the inside of Hattori and the 137. Contact now between Hattori and the 137. Kluver got into the back of the 9 of Hattori as well. But we stay green again. Still sitting at just the 1 caution today, but we've had a lot of near wrecks in this one. And Craven muscling his way up to 6th. Got a truck coming out of the pits. Oh no! Into the wall they go. Craven's in the wall. Caution. Trouble off turn 2. There's a big wreck back there. Caution flag is out. Oh, man. Almost up and over goes the 137. Went into the wall. Terry Cook gets a piece. The caution flag is out. Man. I don't know if I caused that or not. I mean, I caused the stack up. I caused the initial contact there, but everybody else kind of ran into him half a straightaway beyond the fact. So I'll give myself a pass on that one. Got some carnage on pit road, it sounds like, too. 4 tires of fuel here for Craven. That was borderline on whether I caused that wreck or not. I definitely clipped the truck coming out of the pits, which kind of started it, but I mean, that crash was halfway down the back straightaway, and the initial contact was in the middle of 1 and 2. Very delayed. Oh, contact on pit road again. There's Craven pulling out of his box right into Hornaday. I don't know where this is going to cycle these guys. I think Craven lost some spots on pit road. Yeah, he definitely did. Green flag going to be back in the air again. Bill Lester going to be the leader in the restart. And the fastest truck in the field, Ron Hornaday, going to restart with Craven. Half the race to go. Green flag back in the air. Everybody should be able to make it on fuel. 3 wide off of turn 2 coming up here. A little bit of contact right in front of Craven. Craven lifts to keep it off the 120 of John Hamilton. It has been a sketchy race today. How we have only had 2 cautions, I really have no clue, but Craven in 7th right now. And Bill Lester leading for the first time today. Can he get his first win of the season? Coming off a DNF and an engine failure in our first race of the night at the Dodge Raceway. Craven gets by another lap truck. I think John Hamilton's on the lead lap in front of him. A lot of 2x2 racing up here with all the lap trucks on the inside of the lead lap trucks. Harvard Sheth thinking about going 3 wide into 3. Thought better of it. Craven to the inside of John Hamilton. That's a pass for 6 and a clean one. Hornaday right behind the 99. I don't think Craven has the fastest truck in the field. I definitely think the 6 is the fastest truck, so it'll be interesting to see how this will work itself out. Craven got tight. He got up into the wall. He's trying to stay there. He gets hit on the back straightaway, and he's back to 15th. Meanwhile, the 107 leads now. He's got a hold tight in the middle of the corner that time. He's done that off and on in the dirty air. Didn't make any adjustments when he was on pit road. And that costed him a lot. Lost 9 positions from 6th to 15th, but no caution. We do stay green. And the bad news is now Hornaday's in front of him. He did have him in his rear view after getting around him on the restart. A lot of near misses for Craven today. I don't know how much longer he can hold on. We don't have much longer to go. We're down to just 94 laps left this time by. I mentioned I thought we were going to get more cautions in today's race. We definitely did. In this second race than the first one. We got a truck blowing up, by the way, off of turn 2. On the back straightaway. That was not a position. It was one of the lap trucks that just blew an engine. Looked like maybe the 119. I'll try to get to pit roads. The second truck we know of that blew an engine. Craven makes a pass for position there. He's up to 14th. A lot of trucks still 2x2 up in front of him. A little intimidation there to make a clean pass for 13th. That was smooth. Loosen him up. Never touched him. Terry Cook going to try to take it 3. Oh, he got loose getting in. Otherwise, I think he could have made the move. I don't know that it would have worked, but I haven't really seen 3 wide work today. Cleanly, at least. I've seen no cautions because of it, but we haven't necessarily seen clean racing with it either. A little tight, just kept it off the 164. Great job by Craven getting out of the gas when he did. I've had a carbon copy of what happened a couple laps into the restart. Craven clips the apron, did not spin that time, got very lucky. Contact behind him. But again, we stay green. So he gets blocked into turn 1 by the 64. Craven peeks under him. More contact. We drove the entry right into the 64 truck there. Contact up high off of turn 4. Terry Cook crowds the 135 into the wall. Room on the bottom for Craven to get by those trucks now into turns 1 and 2. Clipped the apron, got a little loose, shuffled up the track. 135 behind him, though, was the one in the wall, and now he blocks the 117. And all the trucks, about the last 4 trucks Craven's passed, all lapped down. Terry Cook's the next lead lap truck still in front of him yet. Craven has not led today. He's only been as high as 10th in this race. Marvin Sheth leads. Hornaday has dominated the race, but he lost a lot of spots on pit road. Craven lost some spots on pit road as well. I guess we were in 6th on the restart. So, it was bad, and then it got okay. Terry Cook making a pass on the 137. Surprised he held on to it that low into the corner. Craven right behind him. 137's a lap down also. And both Cook and Craven had just passed. Had 3 fantasy drivers win this season, including in the first 2 races. Slight contact between Terry Cook and Ricky Craven. They drive on. I don't think we've seen the last yellow today. I doubt it. Big block in the middle of the corner there by the 30 of Chafin. Big run by Craven. Low dive off turn 2. They're going to be 3 wide into turn 3. We haven't seen this really work out today. Contact up high. I think Renshaw got up into the wall. Nobody made contact with her, but she definitely got a piece of the wall. Lost a couple spots. Craven's up to 11th. One of those 3 trucks were for position. I think it might have been Chafin in the 30, but I'm not... If it wasn't him, I think it was Renshaw. Knowing she was in the top 15 earlier on the lead lap. Not really sure about the 30. Hornaday's only up to 6th. So he's kind of stuck in traffic. The first time he's been in traffic all day. Outside of lap traffic, but he had a major lead by the time he got there, and we had a caution not long after the fact. Held on to the lead on the first restart, but not the second. And that's because he didn't even restart in the lead the second time. His pit crew kind of let him down there. Craven's trying to rally, though, underneath the 107. I know this is a pass for position because 107 led a few laps on the restart. Craven back inside the top 10 with 80 to go. Very slowly picking him up, putting him down. Trying to make a dive under the 153. That is also for position. Pass for 9th. So 2 passes for position. 2 straight corners for the 99 of Craven. He's trying to muscle a top 10 today. He's been close to getting in wrecks a few times, but he has kept himself out of it. Through 122 laps now at Dover. Out of 200. Montgomery still a few spots in front of him. Now Chase Montgomery hasn't led yet today as well as Craven. 51 points separates the two. And the other driver who was only 100, barely over 100 points out at first, who was 3rd in the standings, Bobby Hamilton, he blew an engine at about the first 20 laps of the race. So, tough break there. He'll fall well out of contention going into these last 10 races for the championship, unless the 18 and the 99 both have a DNF as well. Then he'll get back into it, but he's going to need some help. But it is making it a 2-horse race for right now. A lot of trucks wiggling there in the 1. Seen that all day today. A lot of drivers struggling for grip. Definitely been more action-packed than the first race of the night, I'll tell you guys that much. Marvin Sheth has been pulling away since the restart, though. One day trying to get to the inside of Montgomery. I think he's being held up because Montgomery was in second for a large part of the race behind the 6. Even though he's a handful of seconds behind him. He's still running in second. Craven going really low off turn 4 to get underneath the 178, but he'll get there. And the 178 got a bit loose on the outside lane, and that's going to allow Craven to clear with a clean pass on the bottom for 8th. And Lester, who led coming to that last restart after winning the race off of pit road, cycling backwards, gets a little tap from behind. In the middle of the corner, as the 18 gets around him that time as well. Craven catching back up to Hornaday, who will get to the inside of a truck. Down on the bottom of the track. Craven follows the 6. Into 3. Can't make the pass there. Stays underneath. Couldn't complete it, though. Door to door for 7th. And Craven, with the slide job, will complete it. Bill Lester gets back by John Hamilton. And Hamilton looking to cross and back over again. Go! Contact! And Lester got loose. Hornaday checked up, and now the 99's underneath the 6. Contact as Hornaday crowds the 99 there. And barely clear off turn 2 is Ricky Craven. Got dicey. Meanwhile, Montgomery the 3rd. He lost a little momentum on the truck. He's trying to get around for 2nd. Lester still blocking Hamilton. Hornaday lost a couple spots there. Then he shuffled to the outside. And then that contact. Now Lester trying to go back for 3rd on Chase Montgomery as he pulls away from John Hamilton after getting around him. Hamilton trying to block the 20, or the 99 rather, the 22 in front of him. Contact. Hamilton did a good job keeping it off the wall. Craven to 5th. We stay green. Craven didn't cause a wreck there. Doesn't have to go to the tail of the field. 69 laps to go. Tell you what, Marvin Sheth loves the racing going on behind him because he is pulling away. Will Hornaday ever have a shot to get back into this? Again, it was his race to lose, but I'm not going to blame him for being back in traffic. His pit crew lost him 6 or 7 spots on pit road. Lester got just a bit loose. The 99 closes the door. Got him loose again. Craven slips to the bottom and gets by Lester for 4th. And Lester hard into the wall off turn 2. Trying to keep up with Craven. Marvin Sheth, 9th in points, trying to pull off an upset win as a fantasy driver today at Dover. Leading a lot here since this last restart. Surprised Montgomery still stuck in 3rd. I think it's another fantasy truck right in front of him, too. Craven's about 2 seconds off the lead. Corey Freet, thanks for tuning in. Montgomery getting a bit loose. Craven to the inside. And he'll make the pass for 3rd. What a race by Ricky Craven today. One of his better performances of the season. He does have 6 wins, but just from how tough this track is, how tough it is on me here alone, doesn't matter what series I seem to race in, we've gone from last to 3rd without any practice or qualifying. It's taken 138 laps to get this far up in the running order, but we're getting there. And that was with a couple cautions. Big dive going into the corner. A little contact. He's up to second, though. I think he's clear. Montgomery finally gets around that truck for third again. 2-second lead for Marvin Sheth over Ricky Craven in second. Oh, Craven overdrove the corner, though. 18 back underneath him. Scrape into the wall. Craven going to have to let Montgomery go. Chase back to second place. Now Sheth's got over a 2-second lead. These guys keep battling with each other. King Diamond Jeff, welcome into the stream. Big block in the middle of the corner there by Montgomery. Really widened that corner out quite a bit for himself. Craven tight in the middle of 3 and 4 as he got really close behind the 18 there. Let's play a little defense into 1 and 2 now. Truck just gets underneath him off turn 2. May lose third. Trying to hold the outside as best as he can. He did a good job doing it, but... Oh, hang on. He might get the crossover into 1. Oh, no. Oh, boy. Almost wrecked himself. Shuts the door on the next truck. Hangs on to 4th, but now he's over 3 seconds off the lead. He didn't wreck, though. Still hanging on. Just endless battles since Craven has broken the top 5 for the first time. Big block by the 116 on the front straightaway. Got some racing. These guys are really racing right now. How long before somebody makes a major mistake? David just can't get back around him. All over him. Is he there? Into turns 1 and 2, he is. A little rough around the edges. But he is clear into turn 3 for third again. .52 to go. You have to imagine he's burning his tires off the truck trying to battle as hard as he is back in traffic. I mean, this could be relaxing, I guess, for you, but for me, it has been an intense race ever since those 2 cautions came out, especially. I mean, it was intense before that, but it ramped up after that first yellow. It ramped up even more after the second one. Just can't leave these guys. The precision to not make any mistakes clipping that apron, too, through 150 laps. It's been incredible by Craven. Almost did it right there, but managed to throttle well enough. Push it too hard. Overdrove 3 and 4 just a little bit. Gotta let the truck come to him. I don't know that anybody's going to catch Marvin Sheth. He has really pulled away. All the racing going on behind him. They have costed each other time, tire wear. We know everybody's good on fuel to the end of the race. So we restarted with 100 to go. This will be the longest green flag run of the day if it goes green to the end. First longest, though, was the 88 laps we ran. The start before that first yellow at lap 88. Craven's caught back up to chase Montgomery again for second. Little over 3 seconds off the lead. Craven going for a big block by the 18 on the backstretch into turn 3, though. 116 almost got to the bottom underneath the 99 off turn 4. Big block by Craven. And now he gets blocked again there by Montgomery. 116 almost gets to the inside of the 99, but not quite. 3 trucks under a blanket again in a battle for second. We're down to 45 laps to go. Montgomery a little wide in the middle of the corner. Is Craven under him this time? Potentially. He is definitely under him. He clipped the apron, though, and had to lift. And now the 116 gets by him on the outside. Montgomery not giving up second place. One of the greatest battles for second place we've ever had on the channel. While the leader's getting away. Craven underneath the 116. There's contact. They're up into the wall, and around goes Craven. Hard hit from behind by Ron Hornaday, John Hamilton, and others. And we've got a parking lot crash on the back straightaway. Our third caution of the night. Big hit to Ricky Craven. It was a matter of time as long as that battle was going on. I mean, it was going on for over 50 laps. They could not break away from each other. And quite a few trucks just had nowhere to go there. And Craven's got a pit. His truck is all sorts of tore up. And the Dover Monster, Miles the Monster, has struck again on Ron Hornaday. Good day gone bad in an instant. And Montgomery was ahead of it, too. That's tough. Had those moments earlier today, just didn't lead to crashes. And that time we got stuck a little too long, couldn't get off. Green flag back in the air. Might see some debris yellows from that. Would not be surprised. "39 laps to go. One day on old tires here. Every spot matters for points. Caution's out. And I think Chase Montgomery took the lead right as the caution came out. So this is going to be the first time. It's pretty close. Maybe he wasn't in the lead. It looks like debris. Bringing out our 4th caution of the night. We're going to have less than 35 to go probably on the restart. The good news is Ricky Craven could pit for tires now. But the bad news is he's still back at 23rd. Probably 24th potentially with somebody getting the free pass. Second set of tires going on the 99 truck now. That was just so disappointing. got a runaway. We got a runner! Second time the guys on the rear end of the race car made a mistake today. First one was in first race at Dodge Raceway. Now this one. All these cautions giving Hornaday a shot still. He's got a lot of damage from that accident though, so I don't know. Never know if he gets another chance at it. Green flag back in the air. We're down to 34 laps to go at Dover. Craven in 24th. Shep back to the lead on the restart, getting by Montgomery. Montgomery has led, though, for the first time today. And we've got caution again, likely for more debris. It's time it's off John Hamilton's race truck. More cautions come out, the less green flag laps we're going to have. You have to imagine the 99's got a lot of damage to his truck, though, as well. Not going to pit, because there's going to be another truck behind him who got the free pass. Needs all the positions he could get. We know it's a tough racetrack to pass. It's under the 164. And another debris yellow, and this was already with 29 to go. Saw it up on the outside. 3 debris cautions back to back to back after that big wreck. This comes from Hornaday as his hood has fallen off. We're going to have about 25 to go. This is a killer for Ricky Craven. We need it to stay green to the end here. Green flag back in the air. Sheth held on to the restart that time. 25 to go. Following our 6th caution. Make that caution 7 off of turn 2. Debris. Craven ran it over. I think the tires are up. Clipped it with the left front fender. And that was the truck behind. Oh, it looked like a couple trucks actually shedded debris there. One after the yellow, somebody ran it over. Craven gonna stay out. I think the tires are up on his truck. And they are. Green flag back in the air. "21 laps to go now. After 7 yellows. And another caution. More debris flapping into 3. This is just getting worse and worse. Second time Ron Hornaday shedded debris. And I think Montgomery got back to the lead before the caution came out again. Just one too many restarts for Marvin Sheth to try to hang on at the front of the field. Although I don't even think Montgomery was the one leading. No, Sheth was still the leader. Never mind. Green flag back in the air. 17 to go at Dover. After 8 yellows, 5 debris cautions. Craven almost lost the bottom off turn 2. He did not, though. Trying to hang on. Well, now he did lose it into 3. Contact with the truck down low. He just didn't give that truck a lot of room. All the way into 1. Craven just crowded him. No caution. And now there's a yellow. Now he just turned himself, and he comes back in front of Renshaw, doors him. This race has just gone ugly for Ricky Craven. It was going so well for so long. That was a big hit to the driver's side door, too. Now we've lost more spots. Had good restarts every restart until that one. Definitely the worst restart of the day. We're going to have barely over 10 laps to go now. 9 cautions all of a sudden. We're going to lose the points lead. Chase Montgomery's still in the top 5 and trying to compete for a win. I think Hornaday's going to end up leading the most laps still, but... I mean, maybe Marvin Sheth will catch him, but I think Hornaday's probably already clinched it. Green flag back in the air. And we're down to 12 to go. 31st is where Craven stands right now. His worst finish of the year is 32nd, and that was in the season opener at Daytona. He's only had 3 finishes outside the top 10 all season. 7.8 average finish into the race, and he was battling for second for the longest time in the second half of this race. Cautions, breeding cautions, costing him here. He's going to try to get as many spots as he can, and hopefully stays green. He got 1 spot back right there. Contacted the truck in front of him. Tight in the middle of the corner. Kept it off the truck, though. Oh, Deborah Renshaw got booted into turn 1 by the 64. She slides into the outside lane. Chase Montgomery, after a lap and a half after the restart, was able to get to the lead with 10 to go. And now Montgomery's trying to win the race. Gutsy pass going into turn 1 on the 135 truck. Chase Montgomery trying to get his 2nd win of the season and take the points lead back from Ricky Craven after Craven won the first race of the doubleheader at Dodge Raceway, but Montgomery finished 2nd. And even with all the damage, Craven just ran his fastest lap. 21.733 that last time. So works his way to 25th. Truck is definitely really, really tight with the damage. And in a lot of dirty air still. If we get a caution with 5 or less laps to go, could end the race. Harvick gets thrown into the 99 of Craven. Craven slides in the grass, comes back into the 8, and around goes Deborah Renshaw. Kevin Harvick has just wrecked the points leader. After he was just starting to make some spots back up again, Harvick throws a terrible block in the middle of the corner that wrecks Ricky Craven and a couple other trucks at the back. Renshaw involved in yet another crash. Innocent bystander in that one. 117 involved again. A couple of hard hits there. We should get another restart. Unbelievable. Caution number 10 is out at Dover. Miles the Monster has eaten Ricky Craven alive in these last 40 laps. Just chew me up and spit me out. And chew me up again and spit me back out again. Good grief. I've seen better days. Oh, man. A couple other trucks pitted as well as Craven there that had damage from that wreck. Green flag going to be back in the air here. He'll be in 30th. Kind of spun the tires in the restart. There's Harvick right in front of us. He lost a lot of spots. Montgomery restarts in the lead. 3 laps to go. No lap cars on the inside of the lead laps cars this time. Can Chase Montgomery hold on to win at Dover on a green-white checker? 3-mile shootout to decide the winner here at Dover. No cautions on the final lap if we get there. Oh, we've got a near wreck off of turn number 4. Big stack up. Craven's going for it. And he slides up into 24th going into 1 and 2. We stay green. We'll continue to stay green if we get to the white flag. Oh, we got trouble. Big wreck in turn 4. One truck almost upside down, and that's going to end the race. It did not quite get to the white flag. Marvin Schett, who was up at the front of the field, has just crashed. The 11th wreck of the day. She's got loose. The leaders almost got to the white flag. We were about 3 seconds or more away from... 3 seconds or a little more away from having to race back to the checker through that. Oh my gosh, that would have been wild. I mean, that could have been more spots, but we also could have DNF'd too. I don't know. Green flag going to be back in the air here. Craven going to try to get another spot. Roughed up the 137 for 23rd there, coming to the checker. We passed a car under caution. Race ends under yellow. Chase Montgomery is the winner at Dover. And Hornaday came back to finish in second after leading 95 laps at the start of the race today from the pole. Montgomery led just 17, but he was in the top 3 almost the whole race. Just right place, right time. Timed the restarts out better than anybody else late. Got the win. Kept his truck clean. 11 cautions for 31 caution laps, 15 lead changes, 103.37 miles per hour average race speed, 0.2 of a second. Well, I guess margin of victory was under caution anyway. But total race time, 1 hour, 56 minutes and 5 seconds for the second race tonight. First race was like only 57 minutes with 1 yellow. This one had 11. It was a lot slower of a pace here for race 2. But man, Craven ends up 23rd. Kluver, who had a decent truck today, finishes 17th. I think he definitely had a better truck than that. Things were going so well. Yeah, tale of 2 races for sure, you're right. Quite a few on the lead lap, 31 trucks finished on the lead lap today. And only 3 DNFs, Van Dyke, Immelman, and then we saw Bobby Hamilton blow an engine. So the good news is, despite a bad finish here for Craven, they lose the points lead. But the guy third in points who could have overtaken him in the standings as well today with how bad Craven finished, blew an engine and finished last with no laps led. That was Bobby Hamilton. So we'll still be top 2 in points. We'll be second. But Chase Montgomery will be the new points leader going into Darlington tomorrow night for our 10th to last race of the season. The Darlington 200 night race tomorrow night at the track Too Tough to Tame. It's going to be a fun one. 200 miles, 147 laps. Tomorrow night, that'll start at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the channel. We'll check out the point standings here before we wrap the stream up. There you see it. Chase Montgomery has a 40-point lead now over Ricky Craven. Craven has lost the points lead that he had for so long as he has his second worst finish of the year tonight at Dover. Hamilton actually drops back to 4th with Hornaday finishing 2nd. Hornaday's now up to P3. And Hattori only 2 points behind Hamilton as well. Top 5 still in it. Probably going to need a DNF out of Craven Montgomery for Hornaday, Hamilton, Hattori to catch up. But still a tight battle there at the very front. Marvin Schett led a lot of laps today but did not get the win. Still 9th in points. That's going to wrap up today's stream. Thanks for everybody tuning in. We'll have one race on the channel tomorrow. Again, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard start time. Darlington, NASCAR 6 Truck Series. Be there. It's going to be a good one. Tonight was wild. Couple of good races. Sloppy finish there at Dover for this one. But, I mean, we just got to... We'll have those from time to time. We've minimized them. It's only our 4th finish outside the top 10 this year. And it came at one of my worst tracks. So, despite how good we were running, stinks we didn't get any bonus points for leading any laps. We got as high as 2nd a couple different times there, but that was it. Thanks, everybody, for watching. See you guys tomorrow.